Ancient Greek athletics. Greece was the birthplace of sports. The big starting point for sports was in 776 BC. They held a festival every 4 years in honor of the Greek god Zeus. These games were held in Olympia. There were more than just the Olympics. There was the Periodos. The Periodos were the 4 major games, the Olympics being one of them. The Pythian Games were in honor of the god Apollo and held in Delphi. The Isthmian Games were in honor of the god Poseidon and held in Corinth. Lastly, the Nemean Games. They were also in honor of the god Zeus and held in Nemea. The male foot race was the first athletic event ever held in ancient Greece. More and more sports were added later, but the foot race is the most famous in ancient Greek civilization. The length of the race depended on the arena it took place in. The discus event was a strength test of throwing a metal discus as far as you can. The javelin event was a skill test of throwing a long and skinny metal pole as far as you can. There were 2 types of wrestling. Upright wrestling's goal was to throw the opponent down on the ground 3 times. Also, there was ground wrestling, where the goal was to get your opponent on the ground and keep them there. Athletes with great success in the events were well respected. Each athletic victor won a prize, whether it be money or a better status. The victors were not only seen as great athletes, but as symbols for beauty as well. Being an athlete became a profession. Philosophers believed in athletes being model citizens. This belief brought up a lot of controversy. As you can see, the only spectators to this athletic event are men. Women were not allowed to spectate because it was thought that their presence would pollute the athletic site. 2 philosophers that supported women's athletic education are Plato and Aristotle.
Athletics for women. Women!
The role of a Greek housewife was to stay within her home and take care of it, and her children. Married women were not public women. The goal of an unmarried woman was to acquire a husband. Women did eventually have festivals of their own. The most famous festival was called Heria, and it was in honor of the goddess Hera. The only way a woman could be a victor in the Olympics is if she owned the horse and the chariot that won the race. Chariot racing was another popular event in these athletic festivals. The races varied from the length of them to whether or not you were on a team. These races were very dangerous because the chariots pulled by the horses were light. Chariots and horses originated in Egyptian and Persian warfare. In warfare, 2 horses pulled the chariot, unlike in the Roman races where 4 pulled them.